So where is that? That is to the northwest. Is that in the same cave as the bat? I don't think so, because I think that's the one to the west. So no, I remember where that is. There's like another ruins up to the northwest. And it's right at the back of that place, so we're going to have to fight probably quite a few ghosties or something. Let's just lock that one on the tracker. So, Coucheron.
I have had my fill of fighting.
When this campaign ends, I will lay down my bow and depart the shores of Middle-earth. I have had my fill of fighting, but still I am intrigued by the mystery of Alderheim. What happened to this town and to its people? Scouts recently discovered some ruins amid the Dowstocks, where gaunt men roam and shades flit among the trees. I cannot leave this place until I know what connection there is. Connection shouldn't have an X. Whatever. There is between Alderheim and the ruins of Agistath. I cannot bear to leave this mystery unsolved, to rest heavily upon my mind during the uncounted years. Travel to Agistath for me, and investigate the ruins of Laniel. This is the only tie to these lands I have left. I have spoken with Asuriel about this, but she does not agree with me. She has already returned to Keren Amroth, and there will be stay in contemplation for a while yet. So that's just a hint of, oh, you can find her over there, if you're wondering where the hell you can find her. So, mount up. We're going north. We can get over this ridge. So then, these guys are still hostile. So up on top of this hill, I think there's going to be like another door to get inside like an instanced area. Rather than going into like a cave in the open world, but we'll see. So up here, this is the area, so there we go, there's a cave. Inside we go. So we need to defeat gaunt men in Agistath and find some connection between Agistath and Alderheim. So I can't remember which way we need to go. I'm gonna go left. But either way, we do need to kill this guy. So murderize him. Oh, we pulled the other guy as well with the AoE, but fuck it. They should all die to my AoE. There we go. So keep going deeper and deeper. That's a nasty effect you've got on me. What's that do? Oh, I missed it. I think you're a melee guy, so you might as well just follow me. Do I want to do all four? Fuck it, let's do it. Oh, you're gonna go hide, okay. Okay, both ghosts are hiding now. Let's chug a potion. There we go, they're all dead. Right, so now we can go south. I think this is a dead end. So there's a stronger type of gauntlet in there, the misers. They've got 12k. So I think now we want to go south. Or it's not south, it's east. Because we entered from the south. So if we head up here. And then I think we go north. Or, yeah, it's north. Again. Well, these guys aren't paying much attention. There we go. We're getting a bit of a lag spike. God damn it. I hate it when you're doing an induction and either something dies or the ghosts just decide to hide and just troll you. we go, he's dead. So go back northwards again. And into this room. So what have we got up here? So we've got two groups of the Gauntmen. I'll probably pull the spirit near to these guys. That's probably the safest way of doing it. Please don't pull everyone. There we go. So there's the wine at the back of this room. Why can't I hear it? Oh, is he? He's hiding, the cheeky git. Oh, now I'm disarmed. Or stunned. This could be problematic. Let's chug a potion. Okay, spin it round. So we don't necessarily have to fight them, but we might need him for the quest anyway. So grab the wine. So that completes that quest. Now we need to find the connection between Agastaf and Algarheim. So is that carrying on up here? Do we need to fight these guys? Or is it going to be somewhere else inside the ruins? I can't remember. It's been a while. So let's fight these two guys. Oh crap, it's a miser. Oh well. There we go. We've looted a wooden toy. This wooden toy wagon has been broken into several pieces. I don't know if that gets dropped explicitly by the misers, so you might want to just bear that in mind. We completed the ordinary dead slayer, so we now need to kill 200 dead people for the advanced deed. And then we need one last Gauntman, so just charge up. Hit these guys. There we go. Doing pretty nice there. We must have got a really good hit on that Gauntman, because he died as soon as he arrived, but I only did my initial salvo on him, so tried to get a third attack just as he was running in. Right, back to Coucheron.
Tell me what you discovered among the ruins of Agastaf.
Tell me what you discovered among the ruins of Agastaf. Coucheron listens intently as you describe your adventure among the ruins, if we can call it an adventure, and the broken wooden toy you found. I think the townsfolk at Alderheim fled this place at Laniel, with what possessions they could carry. Why they fled with such haste, or where they were heading, I cannot say, but it seems certain that few made it out of Agastaf with their lives. There are graves among the weeds here in Alderheim. Is it possible that some of the townsfolk were left behind? It is clear to me that the wooden toy you found should be returned to its home. Leave it at one of the graves here in Alderheim, and perhaps the shades that linger here and at Agastaf will have some measure of peace. So we need to head down the hill. I think it's overlooking the waterfall, is it? It's not one in the graveyard. What am I looking at? So just at the southwest. Is it just on the ledge down here? There we go. So we leave the wooden toy at the gravestone. Now we can head back up the hill. Hand that back to Coucheron. And that should be his prologue, epilogue even done.
I hope we have brought some measure of peace to Odegan.
There is a sad story behind Alderheim's abandonment, I am certain, but it is hoped that we have given whatever spirits still linger here some measure of peace. My time in Middle-earth is nearing its end at Laniel. I have no more need of my bow Kumeath. If you desire to have it, it is now yours. So this is fairly good, like as a just like bow for guardians and champions. Just like one that you have equipped. It's got decent stats. It's going to give you a chunk of Fizmit and a bit of crit. Can't really complain about that. Obviously, for a hunter, you're not really going to use this because you'll be using a legendary bow. But it's not too bad. Is the cosmetic any good? It's pretty plain, really. So that's his one done. So next up, we need to go to Echat Syrian.
What can I do for you?
We will have our Firambas epilogue, as well as doing one of the other things for Balthelion. So is that to collect worm slime? Must be that one. There's a cave on the eastern side of those borders. So whenever we arrive, we can pick up that quest, and I think the Greyhammer quest is here as well. So let's bounce up. Then we go down here. There's Luth, one of the Greyhammer dwarves.
My passion for slaying orcs cannot be contained by any one region in Middle-earth.
I have told you of my hatred of the orcs at Laniel, and you know that no bounds can hold it. My passion for slaying orcs cannot be contained by the borders of this forest, nor by those of any region in this Middle-earth. I have envisioned the grandest statement possible of my hatred of the orcs. Let them rue the many times they have crossed the Greyhammer's family, and gnash their teeth in anguish that they ever did so. You will travel to every region in which an orc, goblin or uruk has caused harm to a Greyhammer, and slay one of their kind, and you will shout, "For the Greyhammers!" as you do so. Then perhaps the orcs will know and fear my family as they should. Do this first in Mirkwood, Lothlorien and Moria, and work your way westward in sequence. Then speak to my father Tendry in Thorin's Hall in Ered Luin and tell him of this glorious deed. So we have to go to practically every region pre-Moria and murder a bloody orc or goblin or uruk. Now some of those regions didn't originally have an orc, a goblin or an uruk in them, so they had to be artificially like snuck in. So like way back in the day when this came out, there was originally, I think there was no orcs or orc kind at all in the Troll Shores, so they snuck in some goblins by the last bridge, just to make that a bit easier. And some of the regions, it puts an area on the map to say you can find the stuff here. Other regions, it just expects you to know. Although, to be fair, if you have leveled for those regions, it's pretty obvious, you know. If you're, say, in the North Downs, you know where you're going to find orcs, and the answer's pretty much everywhere. So, next up we need our Firambas.
A company of orcs fled from the assault upon Dol Guldur.
We have victory for a short time at Laniel, and until the army from the east arrives, we must make the most of it. A company of orcs fled from the assault upon Dol Guldur, and scouts tracked them from a distance until they entered a cavern here in the Murkeves. I fear what evils they may be up to inside the tunnels there. Enter this cavern and find out what the orcs are up to at Laniel. Defeat them once you do, and any other dangers that lurk within. So this is going to synergise with the Balthelion quest, because we're going to the same quest there. Same cave there. So we'll be killing orcs for our Firambas, and we'll be collecting worm slime for Balthelion at the same time. So the cave we need to go to for that is on the eastern borders of the Murkeves. So it's just over there. So by the Windstones, which is where the Borg stuff is. So it doesn't really matter which way we go around the big hill in the centre. I'm going to go on the north side of it. And then just trying to avoid as many of these guys as possible, otherwise we're going to produce a pretty big mob train. I say a pretty big mob train. The highest no mob train I've ever pulled is 111 mobs. I think there was probably a few more mobs in there once you count things that have been summoned by sorcerers, but 111 mobs was pretty cool. You turn the camera around and then it just lags the fuck out. It's brilliant. Right. So on the eastern side of the Murkeves, we're going to go dip down into that stony area, which is the Windstones, where there's quite a few wargs. Can I jump over there? Oh, I've landed on a warg. Hello, is that a... Oh, I thought there was a named mob, it's just a dark thing. So there is a cave just over here. We're just going to run through that warg and go straight in. So inside here, we need to find the fleeing orcs in the Merkeeves Cavern. And we're going to see some glowworms up ahead. And oh look, the fleeing orcs are dead, but the glowworms that slew them are still a threat to the elves. So, for the Alfirimbiz quest, we need to defeat pestilent glowworms, 0 to 14, and defeat the glowworm queen. So she'll be right at the back of the cave, as is the usual way of doing stuff. So what we probably want to do is just group up a few of these guys and take them out all at once. There we go. So taking on 3 of these guys actually is, I don't want to say challenging, but they do hurt quite a bit. So that is 5 of 14, and we've also collected 4 slime so far. So we progress a little bit deeper. We're going to find one here. Going to go over here to the left, drop a stone, and AoE. Okay, so we want to go down there, so let's come over here to the stairs, go downstairs. I think the queen just magically drops in at some point when we get to her room, although we can see a big worm through there, but I bet that's her. Well, it might be her, but that's not the one we fight, so run through here. I'll tell you what, let's take out these two because we probably don't want to fight 4 at the same time. That might be taking on a bit more than we would like. Oh, hello. Oh god. Glowworm Matriarch has appeared. There we go, we've defeated the glowworm queen in the Hall of Lights. Is it the one that was behind there? No, that one's still there. And we still need 4 glowworms. So we might as well carry on going a bit deeper. And go to town on these guys. And then 2 more. So these guys over here are going to be our victims. God damn it, stop interrupting me. There we go, so we've done that. We still need the eggshells for Balthelion, which is back at Balthelion. We can go back to Syrian, and we can hand in that one.
Thank you for cleansing the Hall of Lights of the glowworms.
So we need to kill an orc, a goblin, or an urk inside Mirkwood. So we might as well do that somewhere near here. So it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, we'll probably end up getting ganked by like a goblin spy before we even get anywhere near the camp. But if we just head north to the nearest encampment. Actually, I'll tell you what, we can probably do... we might as well do this because we're here. But we can probably kill an orc on the way back to Balthelion, to be fair. But right, we don't want to fight those guys. They're no longer orange though, because they are now the same level as us, so they're white. There we go, kill one of these guys. I'll kill both of them really, but whatever. Every little helps. And we're going to shout out for the Grey Hammers as we defeat our foe. So next up we need to do Lothlorien and Moria. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else we need to do before we go to Lothlorien? I don't think so, so we might as well mount up. And I think we'll cut away and I will meet you guys at Caern Amroth inside Lothlorien. Okay, so we're back. We're not actually at Caern Amroth because I forgot one of the other epilogues we need is Bragelin over at the Banquet Lawn.
We must seize key locations in Dol Guldur while we may.
We have won as great a victory as we might have hoped at Laniel. The assault on Dol Guldur has surely set the plans of the enemy back a step. An army marches from the east to reinforce the fortress, and we do not have the numbers to oppose it in strength. And yet, until it arrives, there are still strategic objectives that can be won to strike further still against the forces that hold the fortress. Gather a small fellowship of allies and take one of these strategic locations at Laniel. The Warg Pens, the Sword Hall, or the Dungeons of Dol Guldur. We will sting the enemy while we may. So now this has changed. The Dungeons of Dol Guldur used to be a 3-man, it's now a 6-man. Now we have to do any one of those 3 instances. Sword Halls is by far the easiest, so if you just want to get this quest done, do the Sword Halls. So we'll accept that, but we'll complete that when we do the instance cluster in a future session. So we can park that one for now. Just as we're going to park one of the later follow-ups, which involves us going to Sammath Gul and dealing with Gorafel and finally killing him off. Right.
Greetings to you.
Caern Amroth, I'm not allowed to swift travel to. You evil, evil people. In which case, I will cut away and I will meet you guys very shortly. Okay, so we're back once again, and we're atop the flat at Caern Amroth in Lothlorien, and this is Cyril right in front of us, recovered from her poisons. We have been through a great deal already, but dark days are still ahead for Lothlorien and for Middle-earth. How are you feeling?
There is still much to be done.
I am feeling much more like myself now, thanks to your actions and those of Broin. But this victory is bittersweet, for not all the friends that set out for the fortress of the Nazgul returned from that place. The grief is not easily forgotten. Always it is so. We will not forget the fallen.
There is still much to be done.
No, we will not, but it does not make our losses any easier to bear.
The effects of the Guigile poison are now just a memory.
Thank you for coming to see me at Laniel. I have spent many days in restful peace here in Caern Amroth, and it has done me a great deal of good. The effects of the Guigile poison are now just a memory, and the spells of weakness have passed. Isurviel pauses for a moment, and seems unable to meet your gaze. I do not regret my decision to do without the Ladris antidote at Laniel. Events unfolded differently than we thought they would, but I could not let the mission end in failure because of my own selfishness. Radir did not have the choice I did, nor did Sigileth. Only Akador seems to have understood what I came to know, that I would have closed my eyes forever if it meant the death and loss that happened to that point would have had a reason, that it would have mattered. Still, I am grateful for the actions of Broin. I have picked a beautiful flower from the slopes of Caern Amroth. Will you bring it to him in Moria? With my good wishes and my thankfulness. I understand he is recovering in the peaceful path along Durin's way. So there we go, we can take that, and we need to kill an orc while we're in Moria. So based on where we're at now at Caern Amroth, we can go up the hill and fight something over in Fanuid Hall, or we could fight in one of the camps over in Nanduhirian up there. Now what I might do then, might be a bit quicker if I was to ride back over to one of the camps rather than going to Fanuid Hall and having to climb all the hills. So
Hail, friend.
We
and
go
well met.
to Mechanbizru, which is the dwarf camp just outside of Moria. And as soon as we spawn in, I shall dismount and find the nearest orc.